feel like she slipped there. She said crisis and went, oops, no, I meant challenge. Let's bring in House Border Security Caucus co-chair Brian Babin of Texas. Congressman, good evening to you. And Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Gentlemen, thank you both. Sheriff, let me begin with you if I can. Since this surge has taken off, what have you seen in your particular county? You're between Phoenix and Tucson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. We're about 60 miles off the border, but we've seen a huge increase in numbers. We've gone back to like Obama-era numbers and actually probably a little worse. Just last week alone on Wednesday, we had 49 apprehensions here in my county. To the south end of my county is a Native American reservation, which actually extends into Mexico. There's no wall down there. And honestly, they are coming in unfettered right now. And you got to remember, we've heard talk about this. It's about human trafficking and drug trafficking. The drugs are flowing with these people, and that affects all of our communities across this country.
Words actually escape me on this. Congressman Babin, let me bring you in. This is clearly what's going on. Now we're getting kind of blacked out, if you like, by the Biden administration. The media is not allowed in to take a look at what's going on. We're not getting the real numbers of those migrants that are coming in on a daily basis. Do we really know how many unaccompanied children they are? There's no other word for it. It is a crisis. But how long can this go on, Congressman?
It can't go on much longer without the destruction of our great nation. They have the cartels. In fact, Sheriff Lamb said it. I had the pleasure of meeting Sheriff Lamb a couple of years ago when I was touring there at the southern Arizona border. But I will tell you that the Biden administration, especially the president himself, has himself to thank for opening this border up with his rhetoric, his promises, and then he tries to back up and say, don't come now. Well, they're here. They know our laws better than we do. These migrants do. And they're not just people coming in here to look for work. We've had a number of them just recently that were caught who are on the terrorist watch list. We've got COVID positive illegals being turned loose on my border here in Texas to fan out into the country. It is most definitely a crisis, and a crisis that Joe Biden owns. And he needs to own up to it, and he needs to start listening to some sense. And not only, if you're not going to take care of the American citizens and put them second to the migrants, then think about the migrants, because they are being they're paying through the nose to the cartels who have been empowered. They're bringing in drugs, human trafficking, and it is an unmitigated disaster down there that needs to be rectified, and rectified quickly.
Ashley, the congressman's spot on.
Yeah, go ahead,
He's spot
Sheriff.
on everything.
Yeah, go ahead, Sheriff.
He's spot on everything. This is about they are abusing the rights of these people in Mexico. So it shouldn't matter what party you are. If you care about human rights and human beings, you should care about these people and border security. They're raping and abusing the women. They are using the children as pawns. They're extorting the men. They're forcing them to carry drugs into this country. And what they're doing with the unaccompanied minors is crazy. And like the congressman said, he nailed it when he said they know our policies better than we do. And that's the issue that we're dealing with. And, us as sheriffs, we're standing up against this. We've created an organization called Protect America Now. And you can check it out at protectamericanow.com. We're not going to tolerate these bad policies, this undermining of the rule of law, because people will say, well, they're good people. Well, guess what? Good people drive intoxicated and they get DUIs. It is against the law to come here illegally.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to uphold is the law. If they don't like it, they need to change it.
You bring up a good point, Sheriff, and let me go back to the congressman. Congressman, Homeland Security, you mentioned it's not only just a surge of migrants looking for a better life and doing it illegally, but you have the drug cartels, you have COVID, people on the most wanted list. This is a Homeland Security problem. How can that not resonate with those on the other side of the aisle?
It is politics. They're using the border as a political weapon, Ashley. It is really, really a terrible situation because as an elected official, our federal, state, and local elected officials need to keep their own constituents, their own citizens at the top of the list of safety, national security, and well-being and health. And Biden, in his own words, is putting illegal immigrants ahead of his own citizens here in this country. And it is despicable to see this and then to turn around and not want the public to know what's going on with this unofficial gag order, where you've got Border Patrol and sector chiefs are not allowed to talk to the press, not to show them pictures or videos. We have no idea, but we do know 5 times the number of unaccompanied children are coming in now than they were back in January. And we had a 6,000 crossing in one day of illegals in general. And if it's not an emergency, why do they call in the Federal Emergency Management Agency?
Right.
Why are they opening up facilities here and there and shipping these migrants sometimes thousands of miles if they're not if this is not an emergency? And also, all of a sudden, they're not cages like they were under President Trump. These are family holding facilities. It's as cynical as it comes.
Yeah.
Well, and let's be honest, it's only going to get worse, is it not, Sheriff? Very quickly.
You're right. It's going to get worse. Biden, through the Washington Times or the New York Times, is now saying that Biden is quietly pressing Mexico to help. Sounds like something President Trump did, and he's finally recognizing that President Trump was right. So we got a problem ahead of us, but we're fighting against it.
And even President Obrador in Mexico has said that President Biden is the migrant president and helping the cartels. And it is really a shame to hear that said.
We're going to be talking a lot more about this in the coming weeks and months. Gentlemen, thank you. Congressman Babin, Sheriff Lamb, thank you so much for talking with us tonight. We do appreciate it. Thank you.